Experts have discovered a dangerous mutant reptile in New Jersey. Reptile experts Dave Schneider and Dave Burkett are conducting research in Pine Barrens, New Jersey. As part of their work, Burnett is photographing some baby rattlesnakes, but as he stares through his lens, he notices that one of his venomous subjects has a terrifying deformity. Put simply, herpetology is the analysis of cold-blooded tetrapods, namely reptiles, amphibians, and caecilians. While such creatures seem otherworldly compared to our human selves, scientists believe that we have much to learn from them. Indeed, herpetologists' work is beneficial in a number of ways. For example, studying these animals can provide scientists with unique insights into the ecology of our planet. This is due to the fact that these creatures are able to sense subtle transformations in their environments. With that in mind, they can give a clear warning that an ecological shift is underway. In addition, certain poisons emitted by amphibians and reptiles can have medicinal applications. Some kinds of snake venom, for example, are used to prevent blood clots in patients who've suffered a heart attack or stroke. So, with much to gain from the study of these animals, there are a number of societies that promote herpetology. One such organization is Herpetological Associates. The group was founded in 1977 and specializes in threatened and endangered animal and plant species. In particular, its team are experts in the creatures' habitats. With that in mind, they work to ensure the well-being of wildlife in forests, parks, and suburbs. To achieve its mission, Herpetological Associates works with different groups. The aim is to help clients complete projects without unduly affecting the environment. To achieve this, it liaises with state and federal authorities to acquire conservation permits. It also assesses habitats and takes stock of wildlife and plant populations. Herpetological Associates has offices in Florida, Pennsylvania, and New Jersey. The latter focuses its efforts on the state's Coastal Area Facility Review Act, or CAFRA. With this in mind, the group assists clients with their submissions to various environmental agencies. These include the New Jersey Pinelands Commission and the Bureau of Coastal Project Review. Part of the work that Herpetological Associates do in New Jersey involves assessing the presence of poisonous snakes on building sites. The group's employees undergo extensive training to allow them to safely capture dangerous serpents. And of special interest to the organization are the northern copperhead and the timber rattlesnake. The timber rattlesnake can be found throughout the east of North America. What's more, no other kind of rattlesnake lives in the wild in the U.S. northeastern regions, where New Jersey is, of course, located. However, the creature is endangered in the state, as well as in Massachusetts and Vermont. The timber rattlesnake is somewhat of a frightful reputation, which is hardly surprising given that it's among the continent's most lethal snakes. It can grow up to 60 inches in length, possesses large fangs, and is very poisonous. In fact, it administers neurotoxins, and its venom can lead to internal bleeding and muscle cell death. And the northern copperhead is equally fearsome. Confined to the east of North America, it's usually found where trees are plentiful. While smaller than the timber rattlesnake, its venom is just as dangerous, with bites leading to tissue damage, excruciating pain, and nausea. So, given their familiarity with highly venomous snake species, there isn't much that can faze Herpetological Associates employees. Nonetheless, some were stopped in their tracks in August 2019 when they stumbled across a strange mutant reptile while working in New Jersey. It was at that time that David Schneider, who's Herpetological Associates Northern New Jersey Regional Manager, and fellow scientist Dave Burkett were auditing Pine Barrens, New Jersey, often referred to as the Pines. The swath of coastal plains contains dense woodland and covers numerous counties in the far south of the state. Burkett explained the circumstances surrounding his and Snyder's unsettling discovery in an August 2019 interview with the local Long Beach Island magazine, The Sandpaper. He said that the land they were looking at was often used by female snakes to birth their young. As such, it's an area of interest for herpetologists. "We were out there surveying a certain area where we know that rattlesnakes give birth," Burkett told The Sandpaper. "It's an area where female snakes hang out, get sun, and let the embryos incubate. They have live young in late August. The young usually stay by their mother." Burkett's job involves investigating the endangered animals and plants in an area in order to advise the authorities on how to best proceed with their projects. As such, he spent years observing rattlesnakes. However, neither he nor Snyder had ever seen a serpent quite like this one before. It seems that Burkett didn't notice the snake's deformity at first. Instead, he was dutifully carrying out his work, snapping pictures of the young reptile on his camera. When it moved to take shelter, however, he noticed that the animal was sporting a major abnormality. As a result, he brought it to the attention of his co-worker Snyder. While the deformed creature in question appeared to be healthy, Snyder and Burkett nevertheless feared for the reptile's future. Its amazing abnormality would make it hard for the snake to make its way in the wild. As such, the Herpetological Associates employees opted to take the dangerous animal under their wings. However, before Snyder and Burkett could rescue the mutant reptile, they first needed permission to move it. Burkett told The Sandpaper that he possesses a special permit. He revealed, under the Endangered Species Law, it's illegal to handle or harass any endangered reptiles or amphibians without that. Herpetological Associates CEO Bob Zappalorti later defended Snyder and Burkett's decision to remove the deformed snake. "It probably wouldn't be able to survive in the wild," he told NJ.com in September 2019, "and it was crawling. There's a chance it could have gotten snagged on something, leaving it open to be eaten by predators." With that in mind, Herpetological Associates believed it had done the right thing by taking the snake in. Moreover, the scientific organization will continue to study the curiosity as it grows. There's no way of telling how long the deformed creature will survive, however. Snyder and Burkett's discovery wasn't the first deformed snake to come to the attention of scientists, of course. For instance, in May 2019, a three-eyed snake from the Australian wilderness achieved viral fame. It has been found on a highway in March of that year. However, it sadly passed away a few months later as a result of its disfigurement. The reptile that Snyder and Burkett had come across was a baby timber rattlesnake. As such, it was capable of administering a nasty and venomous bite. Moreover, despite its relatively young age, the specimen was potentially twice as dangerous as others of its species as a result of its bizarre deformity. That's because the creature in question had not one head, but two. With that in mind, it's little surprise that the oddity gave Burkett quite a surprise when he first spotted it. "I just called to Dave Snyder and said, 'Holy cow, this thing has two heads,'" he told The Sandpaper. Given the snake's remarkable malformation, it's perhaps unsurprising that Burkett and Snyder initially questioned what they'd seen. "We couldn't see the snake at that point," Burke explained, "so I checked the shots on my camera, and there it was, two heads." Upon further investigation, Burkett and Snyder discovered that both of the snake's heads worked independently. Furthermore, the 10-inch long serpent sported two pairs of working eyes and a couple of forked tongues. However, scientists are yet to determine the gender of the serpent. Both tongues are flicking independently of each other, so it has two brains, Snyder told KYW-TV in September 2019. "When you see it move around, you'll see that one head goes one way and the other goes the other, and they're kind of fighting each other and stiffen up, and then one will decide to go with the better half. So it's pretty interesting." That being said, the snake did have one head that appeared to be more assertive than the other. In September 2019, Snyder explained to ABC, "It appears the head on the right side is the more dominant one, but every once in a while, the other head will want to go in a different direction." Given that the snake sported 2 working heads, it seemed that there was only one moniker that would do the creature justice. It was decided to name the snake after the 2 men who'd found it and brought it into the care of the Herpetological Associates. With that in mind, it became known as Double Dave in honor of Burkett and Schneider. It turns out that Double Dave isn't the first snake to be born with 2 heads. The condition, which is referred to as polycephaly, is believed to occur in a similar fashion to when co-joined twins are formed. This takes place when an embryo splits into identical twins but doesn't entirely separate. Zappalordi explained the phenomenon and how it came to affect Double Dave in his interview with NJ.com. He said it probably was meant to be a twin, and it mutated, and the female gave birth to this abnormal baby. Addressing the rarity of the snake's deformation, Zappalordi added, "It's the only one ever found in New Jersey." In fact, across the world, 2-headed creatures are believed to be a sign of impending disaster. As such, they regularly crop up in various myths and legends. In real life, however, animals with 2 heads are far more rare, occurring 1 in every 100,000 births in the wild. That being said, 2-headed snakes seem to be found rarely frequently. Indeed, just weeks before Double Dave hit the headlines, another 2-headed serpent had been photographed in Bali. And in 2018, a bicephalic snake named Tom and Jerry traveled from California to Switzerland to be featured in the Reptile Expo. However, contrary to the popular phrase, when it comes to snakes, 2 heads aren't usually better than 1. With 2 heads, even simple decisions can become a clash of wills, from deciding which way to slither, for example, or which side can eat first. As such, it's not unheard of for bicephalic animals to fight themselves for food. With this in mind, 2-headed snakes can become easy prey for predators. As a result, the chances of Double Dave surviving into adulthood in the wild are extremely slim. That's why the Herpetological Associates had decided to take the otherworldly creature in. "We'll take care of it," Schneider promised during an interview with The Guardian. However, even in captivity, 2-headed snakes can be difficult to care for, as Cooper Salad knows all too well. Pictures that the viper breeder took of a bicephalic copperhead found in Virginia went viral in 2018, and Salad had felt obliged to care for the mutant creature as best as he could. Since the snake had such an incomprehensible amount of media attention, there was a lot of pressure on me to keep that thing alive, Salad told The Wired in June 2019. In a bid to prolong the creature's life, Salad had to force it to eat. However, there was no saving the serpent, and it died within months. In the end, Salad felt that the death was the kinder outcome for the creature. If it had been a snake that was born in my collection, I wouldn't have told anybody about it, he informed Wired. Honestly, I would probably have euthanized it myself because it was so hard for the snake just being alive. Nonetheless, several weeks into its stay with the folk at the Herpetological Associates, Double Dave was still going strong. The creature seemed to be healthy, in fact, and its 2 heads were getting along just fine. However, Snyder and his co-workers were eager to scan the snake to determine whether its digestive system was fully formed. If Double Dave's digestive system is found to be in good health, it will reassure the snake's carers that it can receive nourishment and can therefore thrive. If so, the future could still be bright for the serpent. That's because it's thought that 2-headed snakes can survive for more than 15 years when reared in captivity.